Hello students, in this video we are going to revise Geography chapter number 4 Maps. Okay, so in the previous chapter we talked about globe and the advantages of a globe, but globe has some limitations as well. A globe can be useful when we want to study the earth as a whole or we want to study about the whole earth. But when we want to study only a part of the earth, for example, if we want to study about a country, state, district, town, villages, etc., the globe is of very little help or no help at all. So, at this, so what do we use at this situation? So, when we want to study about a part of the earth, we use a map. Let us talk about what a map is. A map is a representation or a drawing of the earth's surface or a part of it or part of an earth's surface drawn on a flat surface according to a scale. Now, in map, scale is very important, which we will read later. We find that maps are useful to us for various purposes. One map shows a small area and few facts. Another map contains many facts and is in form of a big book. When many maps are put together in form of a book, we get an atlas. So basically, atlas is a book of maps. Now, atlases are of various sizes, measurements drawn on different scales. Maps provide more information than a globe. There are different types of maps, and let us read about them. So, the first type of map which we have are physical map. These are the maps showing natural features of the earth such as mountains, plateaus, plains, rivers, oceans, etc. And such maps are called physical or relief maps. Now second is political maps. These are the maps showing cities, towns and villages and different countries and states of the world with their boundaries. So basically in political maps you will find boundaries of different countries, different states with their capitals, etc. Now the next one is thematic maps. Some maps focus on specific information, for example, such as road maps, rainfall maps, maps showing distribution of forests, industries, etc. These are known as thematic maps. Basically, these maps concentrate on a particular theme or a particular topic. Now, apart from this, there are also components of map. So basically, we have to study three components of map. First is distance, second is direction, and third is symbol. Okay, so the first component of map is distance. Maps are basically drawings which reduce the entire world or a part of it to fit on a sheet of paper. Or we can say that maps are drawn to reduced scale. But this reduction is done very carefully so that the distance between the places is real. It can be only possible when a small distance on a paper represents a larger distance on the ground. For example, 5 centimeter on paper can represent 5 kilometer on ground or in reality. Now, scale. This is called scale. Scale is the ratio between the actual distance on the ground and the distance shown on the map. For example, the distance between your school and your home is 10 kilometer. But if you show this 10-kilometer distance by 2 centimeter on a map, it means 1 centimeter on the map or on the paper will show 5 kilometer on the ground. The scale of your drawing will be 1 centimeter equals to 5 kilometer. Thus, scale is very important in any map. If you know the scale, you will be able to calculate the distance between any two places on a map. Okay, when large areas like continents, countries are shown on paper or shown on a map, then what do? We use a small scale, means we reduce these large distances into small ones. For example, 5 centimeter on map shows 500 kilometers of the ground. Now this is called small scale map. Another type of map is when a small area like your village or town is to be shown on the paper, then we use large scale. That is 5 centimeter on paper or on the map is showing 500 meters only on the ground. This is called large scale map. Now, large scale maps give us more information than the small scale maps. Now let us talk about another important component, that is direction. Most maps contain an arrow marked with the letter N. N represents north direction at the upper right hand corner. As you can see here, in this map given in your book, you can see this arrow has been marked showing north. This arrow shows north direction. It is called the north line. Now, when you know the north, you can find other directions. For example, east, west, and south. There are basically 4 major directions: north, south, east, and west. These directions are called cardinal points. Other 4 intermediate directions are northeast, southeast, southwest, northwest. We can locate any place more accurately with the help of these intermediate directions. We can find out about the direction of a place with the help of an instrument called compass. It is an instrument used to find out main directions. Its magnetic needle always points towards north-south direction. This is the magnetic needle, and it is always pointing towards north-south. Now look at this figure 4.1. This is the map of a village. So in this map, see, in the top right hand side, direction north is given. Scale is also given. The scale is saying 1 centimeter equals to 10 meters. So this is the scale of this map. Now another very important thing is symbols. Maps contains different type of symbols. It is not possible to draw on a map the actual shape and size of different features, for example buildings, roads, trees, forests, etc. So certain symbols have been given to represent all these things. Now these symbols are basically universal. Even if you don't know the language of an area and cannot ask someone for directions, you can collect information from map with the help of these symbols. Now these symbols will remain the same in all the countries and in all the languages. Maps have a universal language that is understood by all. These symbols are also called conventional symbols. Now, certain examples have been given to you. For example, look at this blue symbol. Blue represents water. You can see this green represents trees. This is road, metalled, unmetalled road. These are the symbols for temple, church, mosque, chhatri, etc. Now, PO is for post office, PTO is post and telegraph office, PS is for police station. So these are basically different symbols. Now, various colors are used for giving symbols to different things. Generally, blue color is used for showing water or water bodies. Brown color is used for showing mountains. Yellow color is used for showing plateau, and green is used for showing plains. Okay, now let us look at this figure 4.4, Sundarpur village. So in this map, different symbols have been shown. For example, this is the river, this is the temple, these are the buildings, this is the church, or no, sorry, Gurdwara, okay, and this is the post and telegraph office. These are the graveyards. So we can identify these places through these symbols. Okay, let's move forward. Coming to sketch. Sketch is a drawing basically based on memory and spot observation and not on scale. Means sketch has no scale. Now, sometimes a rough drawing is required of an area to tell where a particular place is located with respect to other places. So, in such situation, a sketch map is used, which is a sort of a rough drawing. Now, next is plan. A plan is a drawing of a small area on a large scale. A large scale map gives a lot of information, but there are certain things which we may sometimes want to know. For example, additional information, for example, length and breadth of a room, which cannot be shown in a map. So basically, in a plan, more details are shown.